there guys, alright, welcome back to another awesome video, and today's movie review is going to be of Pocahontas. So Pocahontas follows the story of Pocahontas, you know, settlement, the Puritans, basically the white folk coming to a new land and discovering that there is more to this land than meets the eye with Indians and Pocahontas. So this movie is directed by Eric Goldberg, and Eric Goldberg is a Disney legend, or at least when it comes to animation, because he's animated so many Disney classics, and he's most notably known for animating the genie from Aladdin, because he somewhat was inspired or modeled the genie after Robin Williams. Now before we get into this movie, I know that this is not really beloved or fond amongst people when this movie first came out, and I have no idea how well it's received over the years, but I feel like when this movie came out, it did not do so well and it bombed, and I have no idea how this movie would feel in 2024. The subject matter might be a little iffy for a few reasons, and one of those reasons is that, of course, this is a very fictionalized, inaccurate interpretation of the story of Pocahontas. The actual historical facts about Pocahontas are very different and a little bit darker. I don't know all the facts, but I do remember a lot of people saying that, yeah, this is definitely, they really kind of painted over this and made it more Disneyfied or Disneyfied. And I think for a fictionalized version of this story, I think I wasn't really crazy about this movie for some time because of how well it's not really adapted much and also represented, if you will. But I think nowadays, and I know that this is an easy cop out and this is an easy excuse, but I swear to you, I think this is a lot better than we expect, and I think this is a lot better than we give it credit. Especially because, come on, this is a hand-drawn animated movie, and I know this was when Disney was doing the Disney Renaissance, and what an era that was to be in and experience and live in with all those great, phenomenal classics during the 90s, just let alone hand-drawn animation. There's not hand-drawn animation anymore. Don't get me wrong, the animated movies that we are getting from Disney are really good. It's just that nothing will beat hand-drawn animation versus computer animation. If Disney out of the blue dropped and announced they were gonna do a new animated, hand-drawn animated movie, I would shit my brains and do a barrel roll and everything, because it's been since Princess and the Frog since we got a movie that was hand-drawn from Disney. Especially, this is way better than movies nowadays, or at least animated movies nowadays. This movie clocks in at 1:20, an hour and a half. Not many movies do that very often, and I think that is just perfect, just right. Nothing against 2 hours, 2.5 hours movies, but this one just hits nicely. So many things that aren't really used anymore nowadays, with the way this movie dissolves, and the transitions are so great and so perfect. The animation, of course, beautiful. The colors, all of it is just so breathtaking at times. And the music, the songs, so perfectly done by Alan Menken. How powerful the singing voice, the actress who does Pocahontas, because she has, I think, the best songs in my opinion, with Colors of the Wind and Just Around the River Bend. I know all the other songs are great and catchy, but there's something about those two that are just so mesmerizing. They're just so beautiful. And just the actress alone playing Pocahontas, I think she does a pretty stand-up and a damn well good job. I mean, she was in Ralph Breaks the Internet. That's gotta mean something. She's amongst all the Disney princesses, so there's gotta be some form of love or attention or credit to this film. We have Mel Gibson, who's John Smith, and I feel like he doesn't get enough credit for his role and for his performance. Not that it's his most top tier performance, but I feel like it would be maybe top 5, top 10 in my opinion. The late John Ogden Stiers as Radcliffe is pretty great. I know it's not his best role, but I think it's his most underrated role, because he gets to let loose, he gets to have fun, be devious, and get to play the villain. I mean, something about an actor, a voice actor, that gets to sink into being a little bit of the dark side of things. Funny enough, and I still can't get over this fact, Christian Bale is Thomas. I think that's just too funny to me. I don't know why. It just is. Young Christian Bale. Let's get this out of the way since we're talking about the cast. I know probably a lot of these names are not really of color, especially for the Indians, but I think it has just the right amount of representation, not in terms of like the cast, but I feel like the process that they went to make this movie, they probably did include the idea of taking inspiration from Indian languages, Indian culture, and all sorts of other stuff in between, and tried not to make it too cliche and too stereotypical with the whole many, many moons and ho. You don't see a lot of those stereotypes, so I feel like as long as they didn't do anything like that, I think we're okay, you know? Going back to the whole Renaissance thing, something about 90s Disney just hits different and just hits so hard.
Sometimes the right path is not the easiest one.
And you could argue that the plot might be a little cliche because of how many movies and films touch on the whole agenda about race and equality and maybe things like slavery. I think this opens our eyes a little bit more and a lot better than other films because this is animation. Have lines that parallel with each other and each party that thinks, hey, because of this might not be human and they are considered savages. Each shoe is on the same foot essentially. I think that's the part of the irony during the song Savages, and I just love the line of the drums of war. I love that lyric. I will say I do have a genuine minor nitpick, and that is they cut out the song If I Never Knew You. Now granted, I do know about the history of this song and that it didn't test well with kids and they wanted to make this a little more kid friendly, hence why this is a Disney-fied version of the historical thing that happened during the 1600s, 1700s, and so forth. It's been stated that kids were bored during the song, but I feel like it's such a beautiful song. They could have kept it in the film, whether in a theatrical cut, whether on DVD or in Blu-ray, I don't know. Don't get me wrong, I do love the line that John Smith does say, I'd rather die tomorrow than live 100 years without knowing you. I think that is beautiful because it does show the romance. It does bring and bind the two kinds together, showing that, again, we're not so different, both in the sense of how much we hate one another, but also how much we care and love for one another and how much we share the same ideals and the same aspects, but also introduce new elements and new cultures to our eyes and to our viewpoints. I am going to give Pocahontas, I am going to give it a B-. So Pocahontas, have you guys seen it? What did you think of it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comment section down below. And as always guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please smash the like button. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. We do awesome videos every day, if not every week. Make sure you ring that bell. I do new videos every day, if not every week. Share the video with your family and friends, all that good stuff and more. Leave suggestions down in the comments. You name it. I'll look into it as best as possible. I have a couple more reviews I want to get in for this month before we go into Christmas, because that's going to be all Christmas related, December related content. So if you guys have anything you want to request, like a regular review of something, a TV show, top 10, something along those lines, feel free to let me know. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.